Hi all.
Hello there.
Oh.
I got to say that song is one of those things you can't get it out of your head. It's so addictive.
I think I have never seen something like that. Never.
In a good way, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
There's very Daft Punk coming in halfway through it.
Something like that, right? Hey, how are you, Ben?
Yeah, good. Yourself, buddy?
Good, man.
Excellent, excellent.
So what are we? Hi, Alex.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Darkwing Duck. You're gonna get sick of me saying that all the time, aren't you?
No, I like it. It's better than just a usual name. It's more interesting. It's better.
It is, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we could get started, yeah? Unless anybody's opposed. Okay. So, hi everybody. Welcome to weekly update number 41. Before we get started, just have a few minor announcements. So first of all, Mitja has an important matter to attend to.
I'm actually here, Ron.
Oh, never mind. Mitja is here. Okay, so he'll handle the tech stuff. I was going to say that he won't be here, but he is. Next, I won't be here next week. I'm going to be traveling. So Rahman is going to take over as host next Tuesday. And the topic is going to be sub-governance updates, the same way that we did them a couple of times last year. So to all sub-governance members, please prepare just a short 3 to 5 minute presentation about the progress that you've made. Decide who's going to present, and you basically have a week to prepare, and Rahman will collect all of the names of the people that will be presenting. And again, just a really big favor that please try to keep it under 5 minutes, because I'm sure Mitja is going to have some things he'll want to present next week as well. And what we don't want to do is make it like a 2-hour call. So thank you in advance. And as always, we're going to have Q&A at the end, but I would ask that everyone please kindly save your questions until the end, and also use the raise your hand feature in Zoom. It's going to be sort of standard practice from now on. So I hope you're okay with that. So let me just get some very general stuff out of the way. First off, tokens that went out last week. Let's see, 115 validator vesting stakes were transferred to the D-pool address. Lumi wallet got their tokens. Bitcoin.com and Cointelegraph got theirs for the quarter. The 10,000 tons that were owed as part of an error for the YPO 2.0 contest were sent out. CEX got their tokens for their stage 2 KPI. By the way, check out their staking. Sorry for the plug. Xangle or Zangle, I'm assuming it's Xangle. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. How embarrassing. They got their tokens. And monthly vesting stakes for global members went out as well. And just this morning, 2 new proposals passed. The first is a contest for D-support for 2020. That's up and running, I believe, already. And, or rather, will be on the 17th, tomorrow, excuse me. And for the analytics sub-governance to continue what they have been doing in their work, received their second batch of tokens. So that's it for general updates. Now, I'm going to go slightly out of order from the agenda because we have some folks from China with us today, and it's very, very late over there. But we have Denis and Lee, I believe, and a few other folks from the Chinese sub-governance with us today. And I just want to say thank you for being here. I know it's the Chinese New Year. I know it's late. So really, thanks for taking the time out to join us. And I guess, Denis, you want to start us off? How are you, man?
Hi, Ron. Just give me a second. Actually, we have here Alpha and Ada, who are the most active members in our Chinese sub-governance. We would hopefully get Lee. I'm not sure whether he can join us because there was some misunderstanding with the time, but anyway. Okay, so let me share the screen with you. We got
Roman. Can you give Denis
can you make me host, please?
Of course.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Okay, so let me try it. 1 second. Yeah, can you see the screen?
We can.
Okay, great. So this is my quick update on our progress with the Chinese sub-governance and Chinese community, TON. So what we did for the first month. So we launched the sub-governance from the second attempt, but we did it. And we have 15 active members right now in WeChat group mainly. So all the communication is done in WeChat. We have, well, Lee, I'm not sure. Lee, are you with us? I think he cannot join us.
I'm looking through the list of folks that are here. I don't see him now.
Okay, just no problem, I think. So he's kind of one of the leading members. He is in charge for our technical, all the technical aspects. He did a lot of strategy ideas, and he's gathering the D-pool right now in China. So he's pretty active. And we have also Ada and Alpha. Alpha is in charge for our technical aspects as well. He's the more technical guy. He does all the technical support and so on and so forth. And Ada did a great job of translation, of content generation, of articles, of designing and administrating all the chats. So these are the most active members. We also have other teams. Hopefully they're also watching us right now. So our team is pretty diversified. As you can see, we have developers, we have guys who do the promoting, who do administration, and so on and so forth. So actually, what we did, we launched the sub-governance. We prepared the whole infrastructure for China, because as you can see, all the resources, all the ecosystem for China is different. And we created a web page in the Chinese, because the initial freeton.org web page is not accessible in China. We created a web page public account. We translated like about 20 or even 30 articles about freeton into Chinese. And we also created some groups in Weibo, in WeChat. So that were some necessary steps that are necessary for inviting more and more Chinese users to use freeton. And yes, of course, about our promotion campaign. So we launched this campaign in Telegram. Actually, it was more of an experiment, because we had an idea that we need to do something connected with the Chinese New Year. So we did the bot. Actually, that was only for Telegram, not for WeChat, and that had a lot of problems as well. Because we had like 1 week to develop the bot, and some process was actually manual, but anyway, I think that the results were pretty great. So as you can see, our user base increased by 14 times. Of course, there are some, I wouldn't say that like problems, but some details that maybe Ada would further tell us about, like, because she and Alpha, they were pretty active during this campaign. We had some other folks other than the Chinese joining us.
By the way, Ada's here, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Mm-hmm.
So Ada, if you want, you can add something. Yes, but so this is the performance that we had. So anyway, despite all the problems, we see that there is a huge interest from the Chinese audience, from the Chinese users about freeton, because right now the market is really it's really vibrant in China, and there are a lot of we can see a lot of blockchain projects coming out in China, and they're pretty popular. They're shooting, and that is why, well, China is really a great market for freeton indeed. But we have a lot of problems as well, because, well, most of the infrastructure right now that that is used by all the other folks from freeton, it cannot be used in China. For example, freeton.org is not accessible due to the Great Firewall. TONSurf is banned in China, and that's a really huge problem to download TONSurf, to somehow use it as a wallet. We started to use Extraton as an alternative, but it doesn't have any mobile version. But in China, everybody uses mobile applications, and so actually, and another thing, yes, that we are asked constantly is about Chinese exchanges, because we are not listed on any of the Chinese exchanges, but all the Chinese, they usually use only some Chinese exchanges, for example, Binance, Huobi, or some second tier exchanges. And actually, these are our plans for the next month. So in order to overcome these problems, because we see the massive inflow of the users, and they're potentially interested in freeton, but they don't know what to do with it, because they cannot, like, the wallet has problems, like they cannot really open the main web page, and they curious about it, but right now it's really important to give them really user-friendly services for them. And that is why we decided that there are some, in order to retain all those users, not to, in order to avoid them leaving us or being disappointed, we decided to accelerate our efforts for creating all the necessary infrastructure for China. First of all, we decided to make a Chinese wallet, and well, hopefully Lee is not here, but maybe Afa can tell us more about it. And we also plan to integrate the voting mechanism into our Chinese webpage that would allow more Chinese users to participate into contests, to give submissions, and to be more active. The same as it goes with the rest of the free TON ecosystem right now. Yes, we're also planning to have some negotiations with the Chinese second-tier exchanges as well, because it is really necessary, inevitable for the Chinese users to use these services as they used to using it. So we're also gathering the DPool in China. Lee is not here, but maybe next time he can tell us more about it. I think he's halfway through it already. And of course, as soon as we have all this infrastructure, we'll be able to bring more and more Chinese users, because the demand is huge, and we can do it. We feel that we can bring many more Chinese users, but in order to do it, in order to accelerate, we also kindly ask you to consider providing us with the budget that we have planned for the next month and for the third month, to start with this budget right away from the next month, to allow us accelerate our efforts here. So this is for our report, guys. Afa, Ada, maybe you can add something.
I think Lee is actually here.
Oh, great, Lee. Can you hear us? Hey, Lee. Yeah.
Zachary. Zachary. I
yes.
Yeah. I see him.
Can you turn on your microphone? His microphone is off. So yeah.
There he goes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It works. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay,
we can
Lee.
hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Happy to see you.
Hey.
Hey, Lee.
Welcome.
Hi, guys. Hi, thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Okay, Lee, maybe you could tell us something about our plans for free TON for the coming month. I mean, well, regarding the DPool and the Chinese wallet that you proposed, and
the work of first month was done by all of us all together. Yeah. So I think we've done a Chinese New Year campaign, which is focused on this airdrop, like red packet events. And then the next thing, which is in the planning phase, which is we're trying to create a Chinese version of the free TON wallet. The reason for that is because I think the current free TON wallet, which is the TON Surf as well as the extra TON, I think they are not very suitable for Chinese users, especially those crypto trader and crypto users. I don't know whether you guys have already seen any of these Chinese crypto wallets, for example, like BPIs and Huobi wallets, etc. Yeah, I think the layout as well as the usage is quite different from the current version of TON Surf, and that's why we come up with this idea that we're trying to create our own like Chinese suitable or Chinese appropriate version of the free-tone wallet. And the second reason for that is I think at the moment both free-tone wallets, which is the TON Surf as well as the extra TON, they still cannot get around with the Chinese Great Wall, the firewalls, right? And that's why we're trying to come up with a plan, because we try to have this CN2, what was it called? The CN2 line. It's like a fiber line, which could connect it to both the external and internal of the Great Firewall. So if we can do this, then the Chinese people can access to, first of all, the free-tone blockchain, and as well as the actual wallet, the on-chain wallet. And so that's the second reason. Yeah, I think Denis already mentioned this to you guys, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
thank you, Lee.
Yeah, so as you can see, China is really a special case because we have a lot of barriers, and that is why it went really slow with China at the beginning, because we haven't done any initial steps. But now, as we've done all of it, as we've localized all the content into Chinese, as we started to generate some Chinese materials and ensured the Chinese-speaking technical support, more and more Chinese developers came in. So as maybe you guys can notice that more and more users with the Chinese names started to ask questions in some chats, like in validators chat or in some technical support chat, because more and more Chinese developers are getting interested in free-tone. So I think this is the most important result of our work that we have. But once again, in order to sustain this momentum, we need to create our wallet. We need to list somewhere in the Chinese exchanges. And yes, that would be the necessary steps to continue this inflow from China, because the demand is really high, and we can see it.
Yeah, Denis, Lee, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I can attest to the fact that I've seen a tremendous amount of increase in activity from China, and not only the chats, but in the China chat itself, which I think went from a few hundred to just over 4,100 in like a matter of weeks, which is
in 1 week, actually.
1 week, yeah, that's right. Actually, it was in 1 week, which is impressive, to say the least. Make a proposal, right? I mean, that's the way we do things, right? So when you're asking the community, make a proposal. I know that after your presentation's done, I know Mitja is going to talk about the Rust Cup, but I think maybe he can actually address some of the questions regarding TON Surf. Because
I can do that. Well, first of all, I want to remind that any proposal you do, please be aware that you need to create contests. So if you want, like, for example, to create some technical work like TON wallet or whatever, you can create that contest, of course, but it should be a contest form, so not a budget to do some stuff. So in the end, invite like more developers to participate. Maybe you'll have several versions of the software. So that's one thing. About the Chinese problem, the actual problem with it's not a problem of Apple Store or Google Play, because we have an APK for TON Surf, for example, or others. The problem is the database that it uses for storing chats currently, because the decentralized database is not ready yet. And this database currently is Google Firebase, which is blocked in China. And I think that's the main reason why TON Surf doesn't work in China. So we're in this. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. Well, it's not interfering one with another. You can still, run the contest for creating a Chinese version. Why not? And then meantime, we will be dealing with this problem because we want to get rid of Firebase as soon as we can. So anyway, and once it's done, then the surf will start working, I believe, in China without any problem, technically. I don't want to address well, I actually do want to address in terms of the interface that you said about like that the Chinese wallets usually look differently. Well, it's because Surf is not a wallet. And once it's integrated DeBots inside, you will see that what you really need to build in order to get Chinese users to use the full power of FreeTON is not to create a wallet which is similar to other wallets in China, but in fact, you will need to create a blockchain browser, a FreeTON blockchain browser, which supports DeBots, because only through these interfaces, the users will be able to access directly the whole like ecosystem of smart contracts that are going to be there. And, having DeFi and all other kind of use cases immediately inside your wallet, which is a browser, basically. So you will actually need to support that. It's not as easy as just to create a wallet with a supporting of a single cryptocurrency. It takes more effort than that. But other than that, I think, yeah, why not? I mean, you can run a contest and go with that for sure. But I think that, voting mechanism in China website in general, like integrating with Chinese whatever exchanges if they're interested and having the pool, I would say this is the most kind of, for me, the most appealing part of this whole thing. In terms of the wallet, we can take a separate discussion maybe between us on the technical side, how we want to tackle that, and if you want to do that and how.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you, Mitja. I think anyway, we could discuss some detailed info on creating the Chinese wallet, whether it is reasonable to create it, and maybe to find some alternatives to that. I think so we can make it all in a separate discussion in Telegram maybe. So
absolutely, we'll take it offline. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, I mean, as long as you're on, Mitja, are you ready to talk about updates to Rust Cup?
Sure. Okay, the Rust Cup already produced.
Oh, I apologize. Thank you, Denis. Thank you, Lee, for coming. Thank you, Ada. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the Rust Cup has already produced some results. Because the validators managed to stop the network, which is very good, because it allowed us to, apart from the fact that we discovered there are some C++ nodes joined that network, for example, which we actually should not. It's not the purpose, test interoperability. So in general, you should not be running C++ node. Anyone who runs C++ node will be disqualified from the Rust Cup competition, just for you guys to know. So you can still do that, but you will be disqualified. Now, but nevertheless, it did manage to discover some small but yet important, actually two kind of bugs, and we're fixing them now. Actually, we already fixed them. So hopefully by the evening today we will start another network, and you're welcome to join and get the tokens and continue validating. There are almost more than 400, I think, requests to join the competition currently. I'm not sure how many of them are just duplicates or whatever, but nevertheless, it's a pretty good, and it will be hot competition. But because of these delays, which are, I think, okay, we will still have to run a few days of the warm-up as I said before, so I cannot tell today when exactly the date that the like green lights will be going on. So yeah, so that's more or less the Rust update, I think, for the cup, unless you have any other questions about that.
Well, we'll get to questions at the end. Yeah.
Sure. Then yeah, there are some contests which are firing up now, which I I think if you're a developer, you might want to look at them. They're very interesting in terms of, like, of course, TIP2 started, which I think is very interesting technically to implement. And then there is, of course, the governance DGO contest that will start, I don't know, today maybe, or I actually don't know the latest update. But it's also, I think, very important for the ecosystem. So please do join and contribute. There are also healthy prices there. Well, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Mitja. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about, there's going to be a TS4 compiler.
Actually, yeah, I can actually preface that a little bit. That what guys I hope will show you now. It's in a short presentation. So there is a press release, a short announcement that we will run after this, immediately after this call. Test suite 4 is a local testing environment for the smart contracts, interaction between smart contracts, and you can test your smart contracts locally very quickly. It's incredibly fast because it has its own implementation of the blockchain simulator locally, and you use Python scripts to do that, as the guys will show. So it's very suitable for TDD, which is test-driven development. And testing the massive amounts of it. It was tested, it created actually out of testing of depool smart contracts and other elector and so on, very complicated system level smart contracts that we had to write. And so we used TS4 for testing of that. The main author of TS4 is Viktor Bargachov, who is also the original author of Solidity compiler for FreeTON. So again, another great piece of software from Viktor and his team.
Thank you, Mitja. Hello. We're glad to present you our new product, Test Suite 4. Test Suite 4 is a framework designed to simplify development and testing of TON contracts. It contains lightweight blockchain emulator, as called virtual blockchain, that making it easy to develop contracts in a TDD-friendly style. First of all, why Test Suite 4? Just because it's fourth generation of internal testing system we use in TON Labs. It was initially created for modeling complex scenarios when developing complicated contracts like depool and elector, where the main goals were flexibility and speed. But later we realized that this framework can be used for a much wide spectrum of use cases. Okay, let's go and see how it looks like. We have some number of tutorials which show how to use our framework. Tutorial 4. All our tutorials is very simple and show how to use our different parts of our framework. And we have a simple contract on Solidity. It's very simple contract which has some variables of different types, constructors that initialize our variables, and getter for our struct. Our variables declared as public, and compiler generate for it default getters. And now we see how we work with that getters. It's simple script. First of all, we need to import our framework and set up it. Okay, we are ready to start our script. First of all, we need to deploy our contracts. It's very simple. Just call base contract tutorial01 with empty constructor parameters, and that's all. Our contract ready to call, and it's deployed in virtual blockchain. And now we can call our some of our getters like m number. We call it, and we can test it with expected value. That's all. Other type of getters looks like similar: address, boolean, string, bytes, arrays, and struct. Okay, let's just run it. It's very simple. Call Python with our script. That's all. Script was completed. Another example is the scripts that show how to use contract methods. We also simple contract with different types of variables and set of getters that we can use to initialize our variable. Okay. As usual, we deploy our contract and we're ready to call methods. Looks like set number with given value. Okay, method executed, and we can check stored value in a contract. Same as for address, bool, byte, string, and so on. It's look very simple. Okay, that's all. And I don't show all of our tutorials, but I want to show some interesting tutorial 04. It shows how to work with internal and external messages, aka Ethereum events. For this scenario, we need two contracts. Contract 1, very simple contract. It has two methods: ping neighbor, which call a given contract with given value, and it has a callback method named pong, which receive callback message from contract 2. And contract 2 is more simple. It has one method ping that which receive a message from contract and responded back, and fire external message. Let's see our scenario. Our scenario realize the same flow in two styles: test 1 and test 2. First flow, test 1. In this scenario, we are processing messages step by step. First of all, we need to deploy our contracts, contract 1 and contract 2, and start to work with it. Call method ping neighbor from first contract with address of second contract and pass our value. After the method was executed in the internal queue of framework, stored internal message to second contract. We can pick this message and check it. We can check source of this message, destination, name of called method, and params. And now we can process this message. Just call function dispatch one message, and message was transferred to contract 2. Contract 2 process that message and fire event, which we can pop from stack and check it. After that, second contract sent prepared internal message, callback message to first contract, and we can pick it and check as a first message. Dispatch this message. As first contract received callback call, and we can check a fired event. That's all scenario. In other style, we can process all internal messages by one call. We just call dispatch messages, and chain of all messages will processed. And finally, we can check a last event that fired by first contract. That's all. Let's run and see how it looks. Okay, it's done. We can see in log deploying first contract, deployed second contract, call it first message, call it first method, ping neighbor with given parameters, address of second contract and past value, dispatched messages for one contract to for first contract to second, sent second contract sent callback message, fire event, and send it back after dispatch. First contract received pong message and fire event, and the same with one-step flow. That's all. So we have a number of tutorials that show how to use different parts of our framework. Framework key features is speed, complex test scenarios, deep integration, and easy installation. You can run it on Windows, Linux, or Mac OS without any trouble. In the next upcoming release, we plan to publish Python package to PyPy, and we plan to add data visualization module as well as steps through debugging.
Thank you, Vasi, very much. Thank you. By the way, this visualization thing that are not released yet, but will be released hopefully next week, is kicking ass. Actually, you will see and love it. Thank you very much, Vasi.
Thank you, Vasily. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Is that all for technical updates, Mitja?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
No. Mitja, can you share the link in the test framework?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, that does it. Oh, I'm sorry. My microphone's on. Sorry. I'm doing two things at once. I apologize. Right. That's it for presentations. Reminding everybody again, a sub-governance call next week. Please be prepared. Short and sweet. Rahman is going to host. And I guess we're ready for Q&A. So if you have a question, please raise your hand and let's get started with that end of things. No questions? It's always like this, isn't it? Who's going to be the least shy?
I have one. It's regarding the part of replacing Firebase on Surf with something more decentralized. If I remember correctly, the idea was to actually implement something like TON storage. I wonder what is the timetable? Do we have explicit plans for TON storage?
Yeah, it's a work that is undertaken in the DevX sub-governance. It's not TON storage because TON storage is not enough. You need actually TON database, and that is kind of work in progress. We DevX sub-governance made some contests about research contests about the feasibility of using in other like existing technologies, and in the end, it was decided that they're not very feasible because they represent a parallel architecture to what TON already has. And so it was decided that we try to create a database on top of the existing TON layer 1 blockchain natively. And that work has not been started yet because the TON Labs team is now too busy with the node kind of the Rust node debugging and testing. And so once it's finished, we will have a contest about this kind of implementation and design, and hopefully it won't be that long before we have some prototyping of this database.
Thank you.
But I would say it's a few months.
Next question, comment? Anyone? This could be anyone at all. This can be you or your neighbor or your friend. Okay, if not, let's go really quickly to YouTube questions. We have several people with us from the Philippines today. Hello, everybody in the Philippines. Lovely country, been there many times. Food is great. Lechon is the best in the world. Question is, when can we have a TON Philippine Sub-Governance? I noticed this question in the forum, so let me sort of explain. I think maybe there might be a little bit of miscommunication as to what a sub-governance actually is. You'll notice there are certain country-specific sub-governances in Free TON, and yes, that's true. But for the most part, a sub-governance has nothing to do with a country. It has to do with a specific area of work that needs to be covered. And I've said this many times before. Just imagine that you're trying to run a factory or something like that. I don't mean to use that term, but just for the sake of analogy. And it has different stations, different people that do different things, right? So specific areas of work that need to be covered, building applications, doing something specific to help the network. Those are the areas where sub-governances are focused. The reason that we have several country sub-governances is primarily due to whether it be some kind of restrictions, like we just heard from the Chinese sub-governance. They have, a lot of problems with being able to sort of access global applications. There are certainly cultural and language barriers and that sort of thing. So forming a sub-governance specific to that region creates the ability for them to function within Free TON and build a community. The Philippines don't have that problem. Most of the Philippines speak fluent English, are basically embedded in I guess what you would say, the globalized world. So a Philippine sub-governance doesn't make sense, okay? There are plenty of other sub-governances that you can join. You can participate in contests, you can make proposals, and you can make proposals to global governance for whatever it is that you feel is very important. It's not so essentially it's not country specific. It's just there are rare exceptions for which I personally feel the Philippines don't really fall into. I don't know if anybody else has a different opinion, but that's pretty much mine. All right, so that's how I would answer that question. User one says, when will the remaining 4.5 billion crystals be distributed? Is this going to be done through airdrop? No, there are no airdrops.
Ron, sorry, Ron, sorry, let's see if anybody has an opinion on Filipino.
Oh,
I kind of agree on the language point, of course. It's not obvious. The differences are not as striking as in South Korea or in China, where there are a lot of specifics, obviously. But for me, it's actually up to the local community. If they feel passionate that this will, enable them to be more meaningful or more relevant locally, that they'll do some, local specific contests. I personally think it would be great. Of course, I mean, they can continue to be integrated in the English-speaking chats and everything. But for me, it's the criteria is slightly different. It's kind of, active and vibrant community that is passionate to do something that drives it. Just the personal point of view as well.
I agree with Sasha, by the way. I think that the sub-governance, it's just a group of people, and if you have this group of people who want to do something, because it's not just, okay, we're a group of people from Philippines, why wouldn't we have a sub-governance in Philippines? It's not the point. The point is, if you're a group of people happen to be from Philippines and you want to do something, why not create a sub-governance? That's how it should work. Like, and nobody actually can tell you to create. Nobody will create sub-governance for you. Like, it's you that creates sub-governance. So if you have something that you want to do, right? You have a plan, you have a community that you want to do it with, then create a proposal for such sub-governance, and that's it. I mean, nobody should tell you what to do or not to do.
Yeah, and I think part of my point was that I don't necessarily understand why it's the Philippine sub-governance. How about just the sub? So
does it matter?
Well, it does.
If there is a group of people from Philippines, okay, so let it be like you have a, I don't know, you have a village, like the best village in the world, and you have a village, and you have people there who love Freeton and want to do something, and they want to create a greatest village in the world sub-governance. Why they cannot do that? Of course they can do that if their plan to do something makes sense. For example, they want to make water pipes to all other villages or something like that, which somehow connects to the Freeton.
How's that a Philippine thing though? In that case?
It's not. It's even more than the Philippine thing. It's a village thing.
That's right. That's my point.
Well, why not? Why not?
Well, that's my point. So it's actually a pipe sub-governance.
It's a village pipe sub-governance.
Or village pipe sub-governance. Yeah,
so
absolutely. Well, no, because...
Well, you see, there are local communities. The communities tend to be local. There are global communities, and then there are local communities. If there is some local community who thinks that they can contribute to Freeton and Freeton can contribute to them, then why not create a local sub-governance, right? It doesn't, I don't think it matters, actually.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, I'm just expressing my opinion. I think that the metaphor is good about creating water pipes for everybody, but to me,
think about maybe Philippine people, for some reason, just want to trade with other Philippine people. That's possible?
Of course.
Yeah, if it's so, then why then it's kind of okay. They want to create this group of people. if it's really what you want to do. Again, my point is not to tell you how it should be done. Nobody knows how it should be done. The only thing that we know is that there should be a group of people who wants to do something meaningful. That's all.
That's always the case.
And that's it. Yeah. And if all the other community thinks that what you intend to do in the plan that you presented with the people that is in the community makes sense, then they will vote for it. It's very simple.
Well, there you go. Exchange of information and opinions. Okay. All right, next question. So what can be the contribution of the Philippines community to the growth of Free TON? Well, I think we just sort of covered that, didn't we?
It's a question to you guys.
Yeah, right.
It's not a question to us, what you can do for us. I mean, what you want to do for yourself. And Free TON can help you doing. That's
ask not what your blockchain can do for you, but ask what you can do for your blockchain.
Just to pipe
for
in,
you
sorry, with
on
that.
blockchain, not yeah, sorry, not for blockchain, but for you using blockchain.
Sorry, it was hard to hear you, Pavel.
Yes, I commented that not what can you do for blockchain, but what can you do for you using blockchain?
Yes.
Yeah, what you can do for yourself using blockchain. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Ben also wanted to say something.
Just a very quick comment, guys. I know we had quite a large Filipino kind of community coming across from Dune. What I might suggest to those guys, I know I've spoke to a couple of them in private, is, as you said, Ron, it's less about a geographic thing as a cultural kind of approach, I would say. Cultural kind of sub-governances in the way that you would approach kind of the PR and the bigger marketing side of things. So, I mean, it might possibly worth be considering from their point of view, extending it to more the larger cultural region. I'm not particularly good on my geography. Would it be like the Australasia?
Southeast Asian. Yeah, so that kind of area which encompasses Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, all that kind of area south of China. They've got to be quite a lot of cultural crossovers. It's quite an ecosystem unto itself, as I understand it. So that would be my suggestion. Yeah, that's actually a good point. And actually, that's kind of like what is sort of expected from the Mexico sub-governance sectors here, is that eventually it'll become the Latin American sub-governance, right? Which encompasses a whole region, not necessarily a particular country. Plus, again, I've been to the Philippines many times, and I understand that they're very it's a very international group of islands. That they're not just Filipino. I mean, there are people from the U.S. there, Germany. I mean, they're very entrenched in the global economy. So, from that point, I don't. Yeah. So I think maybe my point was just that just calling it the Filipino sub-governance to me seems unnecessary. But you know what? That again, other people have other opinions. So who am I to judge? So yeah, carry on. I mean, make the proposal, do what you have to do. I'm for anything that brings value to the network and in turn brings value to you, which goes back to the point that Pavel was making, is that we tend to have people always ask, well, how is Free TON going to do this? How is Free TON going to do that? You have to grasp, you have to sort of cross over that threshold. And understand that Free TON is not somebody's, it's yours. So whatever you can do, you do, and in return, you receive rewards for it. It's a meritocracy. So what you bring something, you get something. Nobody's going to sell you tokens except exchanges. Free TON isn't gonna just sell you anything. It's a community. So be a part of the community. You contribute, you get. It's as simple as that. So the question, like Mitja stated, is not for us, it's for you. Ask yourself what you can do. Can Free TON possibly have its own exchange?
Of course, there is a contest running right now in DeFi sub-governance called Decentralized Exchange. And I suddenly woke up a couple of days ago with the notion that I have an design for decentralized exchange. So now I want also to participate in this contest. Yes, of course. This is the.
You're welcome, of course.
Yeah, we will. We already started to write it. It's going to be faster than centralized ones. So anyway, So yeah, of course, decentralized exchanges, of course.
Yeah, just for those of you who don't know where to go, so first of all, go to the forum of TON, to the DeFi section. So there is the full description and discussion about it. Also, we had the contest for design and architecture of this part, and so you may find some good ideas there. And now there is a contest for the implementation of the stage 1 of the DEX. So it's 26 days left. Just checked on the governance interface. So please feel free and join. Everyone is welcome, and the more works, the better.
And I just tossed a link to the DeFi group in YouTube, so go and check it out. Okay, hang on. Where's my next question here? I lost my.
Yeah, so just to add a small thing, that there are two bridges are now being built to the TON, one from Ethereum and another one from Polkadot. So soon some popular tokens based on these two blockchains will be also available in TON. So we will have the fastest, the cheapest DEX ever with liquidity, I hope. So yeah, some good times are coming.
Yeah, and you're going to be presenting on that March 2nd, right?
Yeah, I will prepare some presentation about the current status of the DeFi group and what we are doing and what is going on, because we have a lot of progress, in fact, so things coming. So for the next time, I will prepare a presentation.
March, not next Tuesday, Sub-Governance has been on March 2nd. Yeah. I already have it in my notes in my calendar, so you have no choice. Okay, next question. What's specific in the French-speaking community? That's a good question. Ben, do you want to try to take that one? Is Ben still here? Ben's not here. The answer to that question.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
sorry, I literally zipped off to put the kettle back on. Then I missed about 2 seconds of it, and I come back and someone shouting my name. What did I miss? Sorry, buddy.
Somebody's asking what's specific about the French-speaking community, and I think they're referring to my reply in terms of Filipino sub-governance and why it needs to be centric to a particular country. And the question is, why is there a French sub-governance? Since you deal with the French folks quite a bit more than I do, I thought maybe you'd be the right person to answer that.
Yeah, I think it comes back to that keyword culture, really. If you think about French as an international community, it imbues quite large areas of Canada, obviously other kind of territorial regions where French is the predominant language of the region. More so than just language, it also goes towards a kind of cultural approach to such things as advertising and marketing. You know, what would work on, say, a UK and American audience would probably, you know, turn off a French audience to some degree. I'm always quite keen to break out the story of Walmart's failed venture into German territories many years ago, which kind of sums it up, with obviously how Walmart have their greeters and they try to go over to Germany and no one will go there because they just don't like being said hello to at the supermarket door. You know, it's cringy for them. So I think that kind of brings it together.
Yep. Yeah. And I would add to that, I mean, even, you know, having lived in the US for a very long time, you know, I used to go up to Canada quite a bit, and Montreal would be a classic example of where, you know, there are definitely, you know, certain borders that you have to cross, certain cultural barriers that are there. It's a fact. Again, I've been to France, been to Montreal, and I've been to the Philippines, and I never felt that in the Philippines. But again, listen, look, I expressed my own personal point of view, nothing more. That's why we're a community. We're here to discuss. I have one point of view, you have another. Make a proposal. Okay. What do we have here? Somebody suggesting call it Oceanic Sub-Governance. Yeah, why not? Watching from Philippines, glad that our country is already part of the discussion. As Filipinos, we really wanted to contribute something meaningful to Free TON. That's wonderful, and contribute something to Free TON, and do something great for yourself as well. Thank you. We love having you. We want to be officially local community of Free TON and contribute something. Great. Only happy to see that. What does Free TON plan for the future regarding the security of our investments? Okay, again, it's very, very important to understand the different, you're referring to Free TON as though it's a company, which there is no company, there is no entity, it's a community. So when you say Free TON, you're asking literally, at this point, I believe it's close to 50,000 people what their plans are regarding your security of your investments. I don't understand. Your investments are your own to make. Free TON doesn't give financial advice. You know, you have to make that decision for yourself or go to the community and ask them. So I think you need to separate Free TON from all of the other blockchains that you're used to, because that it's, again, it's a decentralized world that we live in Free TON. I have no idea how to answer that. If I were a licensed and qualified financial advisor, I'd tell you what to do on a personal level, but I'm not. All right. That's it for YouTube questions. Does anybody have a question here again in the chat, in the call? No?
So very quick one for Mitja. I know we're trying to get in an hour. I'm just looking over the DPress, DeBot guide.
Let's call it DPR. Can we do that? Yeah. Let's not call it.
It's called DPress. Come on, guys. It's DPress.
The DPress bots.
No DPress. No DPress. Please, no DPress. DPR.
Just wondering if there'll be a more kind of idiot-friendly guide to getting on, to get into grips with things like this. I know, obviously, and myself and a couple of others will be coming across and having a go at this as maybe one of our first contests. Looking at the guide as a non-technical person, my eyes are going, oh. Is there going to be kind of a breakdown somewhere for, or is this, is it worth just coming to you in private? Is this the broken down version and I'm overthinking it?
That question is for Mitja.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
He's basically asking if there's some way to write a more user-friendly version of the decentralized PR contest for those who aren't necessarily technical.
There is a video explaining step by step how to do that, and I already know some PR guys who are using that. I have signed yesterday the first text that I had the privilege to review as a key member, and it's not that complicated.
Fantastic. In fact, my apologies. Yes, I'd clicked straight through to the link to the documentation guides and gone straight over the video.
Short video guide going step by step how to do that.
Excellent. And I can't mess that up.
We are sorry. Like it, of course, was like I asked, guys to do this DeBot, to write this DeBot, and it wasn't very it wasn't within the scope of our work, so they had to kind of jump off, and still it took a week to do because of things we needed to add to the engine to make it more user friendly. For example, so you don't need to remember dozens of keys. So now DeBot does it for you with you just need to have one seed phrase to use it. So we simplified that as much as possible. Of course, it's not perfect yet, but as much as it can be on that stage, we cannot do further right now. I mean, of course, once Surf has all this interface implemented, then you would do it from Surf just with the types on the screen, but it's not yet there. So sorry about that.
No, it's fine. That's brilliant. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, and I think Ann just tossed the video into the Zoom chat here. One more question, I guess. Wait a minute, please. Vietnam Free Ton wants to ask a question. Okay, please ask. Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap up. So let me give them one more minute. Does anybody else have something they want to say or ask? Step on up. Oh, Darkwing Duck. Come on, man. Go ahead.
Okay. So I want to tell every user and people who want to create sub-governments and so I think that the most important feature that Free TON community gives essentially a ready-made something like user base with people from different countries. And the beauty of this, that you can do something by your own, and a lot of people will know about it. You can write it about in groups, niche groups in Free TON and so on. And if your idea is really great, you will be supported with your project. Have you sub-governments or not? It doesn't matter because we have a community. And the only question is about your idea of sub-governments or project is only how confident are you in your idea, and are you sure in your idea and think that it will be useful. And so in conclusion, I wanna say that the main idea of the Free TON of this, that Free TON community has already give you the greatest value, a huge number of people with whom you can share your idea, do something, and if it will be great, you will get reward, not just creating sub-governments, but from people and so on. So that's the thing I want to say.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's absolutely correct. So, you know, just understand that a sub-governance is different than a chat group, right? I mean, a lot of people think that, and I've run into this myself a few times, is that they just believe, okay, well, we have a chat group consistent of certain people, maybe even a certain ethnicity. Oh, we're a sub-governance. No, that's not how it works. So you actually have to have a plan, a roadmap. You start out as a chat group, you build something, you have an idea in mind of where you want to go, what kind of things you want to contribute, and what kind of things you want to get out of it, out of Free TON. And then that starts becoming the first step towards actually forming a sub-governance. A sub-governance is a group that works, does something, it gives value to the network, and of course, then the network rewards you in exchange for value. So that's absolutely correct, and that's where you have to sort of focus. So it's not about forming a French sub-governance or forming a Filipino sub-governance or a Mexico sub-governance. It's about forming a group that's working towards something, needs a little bit of help to get there, and in return brings value to the network. So that's basically it. We do have Yeah, sorry,
and another thing for Ben, you asked about the press bots and so on. Now we have an article. It's 3 parts. Article in 3 parts about masterclass of DeBots. I write it in SMM, and now it's in Russian language, and today it will be translated in English, and I will try to send you the link to these articles on blog. So because on this masterclass there are also example of the press bot too.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you ever so much, buddy. Yeah, and any sort of beginner's guides and that kind of thing are really useful for helping.
It will be in English language. I really think and hope that this it's not like just usual transcription. It's just a little bit instruction. Maybe somebody sees it in Russian, and today it will be in English language. I will publish it.
Oh, Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, we did have a few more questions come in from James Derecho about the Dune Moonshot and the other games on playground.dune. Is it still free to play those games after the merge? That's a good question.
Well, essentially after the merge, the Dune blockchain itself will be winding down. So yeah, any applications that run upon the blockchain would obviously cease with the chain itself following the merge. As we mentioned in the proposal, we're going to more look at individual bits and pieces, and I believe the dev team's plan is to sort of run some small scale contests to judge the, what would be the right word, not worth, but the priorities of which bits of tooling to be bringing across first, and etc. Yeah.
So the answer is no.
There's 100 words when I could use one. But
sorry.
no, it's me. I waffle so much sometimes.
No. I mean, it's understandable. It makes sense. And also, can I please, and Mitja, please, I'm begging you, for the love of all that is holy, please let's not call it DPress.
It's already called DPress.
It's
nothing you can do about it.
From a marketing perspective, that is the worst thing you could possibly think of.
Why do we need it? It's not. It's for the PR people. They understand the humor.
Yeah.
It's not for global marketing. Like, it's just
you talk so much about it, so it works. Marketing works.
Yeah, it's like no such thing as bad press, right? all press is good press. Okay.
No such thing as depress.
You've got me depressed. Okay. We have a gentleman, Duan Tien from Vietnam. He joined the Zoom call actually, and I believe he has a question. Please.
Hello.
Welcome. Hello.
I just translate my video, right? My name is Dan Tien. I am from Vietnam, and we heard about the program TON and free TON a long time ago, but my friends reduced about your community. Sorry for my English, okay? Because our country is a socialistic country, and we're talking in Russian language. But English very bad. So
it's okay. Your English is fine. I understand everything you're saying.
About us, we are the company. We trading in crypto. Around for last 4 years, we have a community, the biggest in the Vietnam, in Telegram, around 10,000 user. Yes, and we have the total volume trading in Vietnam. The total in our group we control about 90% crypto trading in Vietnam. I please note it. And our bot, this is the name is bot VN Market Coin Vietnam. He control 15 market in the Vietnam. It is around 100 all markets crypto on Telegram we control. Yes, and we make a rule for the Vietnam Telegram community for crypto, and we have very close connect with the biggest exchange like Huobi, Vietnam, OKX, Binance, and we making arbitration for the Huobi Japan, Huobi Korea, and other countries. So with me in the company have the second group is this Mimax group. His specialization is this, training and professional повышение квалификации, как называется.
Wow, your Russian is amazing. I don't know either.
Maybe raise of qualification. I don't know. Maybe something like this.
Training and professional development.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What's it called? Yeah, basically just requalifying.
Yes. And I send you the profile our community. Planning community. The MIMAX had 60 clients from 50 company upforce, like the Canon, Coca-Cola, and Foxconn, 60 company, and all banks in Vietnam, 40 banks. We training the employer, training employer, and make the professional development for them. Outsourcing. This is business. We make the events for them for all banks in Vietnam. All banks in Vietnam is 40 banks. It's just we can say that we are the professional for the events, for the training. So collect them. We think if we will join to your community of return, we can make the good job. So I want to note that we don't want to take your money and make something. No, we just show our works. We have the bot exchange. P2P, B2P. We have the bot from the arbitrage, and now we arbitraging TON in Korea with another exchange at the moment. About TON, free TON, I saw it. We have the specific. We have the 6 development. Programmist.
Six, you said?
Six, yes, 6 employer, 6 user development on our company. Our company about 35 people, and we all days training and train and make the business on the Telegram groups in the Vietnam. About us, you can check. You can join to our group and check it. We the must activity, active.
Can you send a link? Can you send a link both in the Zoom chat and I believe your friend Maxime on YouTube? Maybe he can send a link to everybody on YouTube so we can sort of send people your way.
Yeah.
That's sorry. I apologize for cutting you off.
So that's all I can say about us, and I hope today is the first day. I very glad to meet you, and I'm very glad. So about free TON is very large every day, and I hope our little something about our power, little power, can help free TON. It's bigger in every day.
Thank you very much, Don Tien. That's amazing. And there's just a fantastic example of somebody who a group that came, understood, and just started doing something. That's fantastic. Just that's excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. If you have some question, you can write me directly on Telegram or on the forum, and I will answer all your questions.
Fantastic. If you can, provide your ID, or if somebody can, I think everybody pretty much knows, my ID. Yeah, absolutely. If you maybe even write it in the Zoom chat here, and we'll post that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Bye all.
Bye. Take care. Thank you. Let's see. Questions coming in. I think the maturity, the blockchain will be able to support even projects that come in through direct channels other than sub-governance. Okay, I believe that's a comment, not a question. Sure. Okay, absolutely. Another question is, how can FreeTON give high rewards / prizes in their contests? Well, I don't know exactly what you mean by high rewards. Whoever drafts a contest drafts the contest and the requirements for that contest. It depends on the contest, right? So some contests have lots of rewards and some have less. It depends on the difficulty. It depends on whether it's a technical contest or more of a marketing or promotional contest. It all depends, but you can actually go to here. Let me give you a link, and you can go and see all of the contests. It's gov.freeton.org. And if you go there, you can browse through all the different contests and you can see what's on the plate. Please, we would love for more people to participate. It's very important. Thank you for the answers. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for coming. Also, another question, I think this is going to be the last one for today. FreeTON is a good project and all. I couldn't say more or less, but I'm looking forward to more features, developments, and use cases soon enough. That's all. And have a great day, everybody. Thank you. Have yourself a great day. And I want to say something about that. So you asked, I believe you asked the question about what does FreeTON need? And I want to send this out to all partnership proposals and everyone who wants to help. Here's the #1 thing that FreeTON needs: use cases. And when I say the phrase use cases, I don't mean just, marketing, promotion, stuff like that. Yes, that has its value as well, but that has its value when we have users. To have users, we need use cases. To have use cases, we need use cases that use the TON, right? That act and don't dump it out on the open market, but that actually use the TON inside the network. To do that, we need collaborations with companies and groups that will actually use the token, and somebody can come and use it. That's a real use case. And right now, I think the community, and unless somebody wants to argue with me, is focused 99.9% on that. We need real use cases. If you can bring that, believe me, everybody will back you. The community will back you, and we'd love to see more of that. So, yeah. So that's all I have to say. Last call for comments or questions. Right? So
just a quick plug. If anyone's not seen the Hacker Noon article yet, please do check it out. It's my first Hacker Noon article. I'm pretty proud of it. If you haven't shared it already, please share. Everyone, every little bit, getting the word out helps. I think it went down quite well, actually. It's sat on the front page of the cryptocurrency section of Hacker Noon since about Saturday when it was released. So, yeah.
Blast that.
Please check it out. Yeah.
Blast it out. All right, guys, gals, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for coming. I will see you in 2 weeks, but you should be back here next week for the sub-governance updates. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.